for you. No, no, no. Yeah, can start. Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending my talk today. I'm Mikel Arrategui. I work for Code Syntax in the Basque Country, and I'm going to show you how we are deploying Volto sites, our Volto sites, in an automatic way, but not using Docker. Okay. Why is this reason of we are not using Docker? It's a long story, but the point is that lately we have been migrating all Plone 4.3 sites to Plone 5.2. At the moment we started, Plone 6 was not even an alpha, I think. So we started migrating them to Plone 5.2 and doing some Volto developments to build the front end of those sites. We are not yet in the Docker world, at least for deployment, except for a project we have in the EA, but in the other projects we are not in the Docker world. We use Docker for development things, for spinning MySQL databases for testing or memcache or whatever, but not for deployment. We are quite used to deploy our Plone sites with build-out. We have more than 70 Plone sites in more than 70 servers in DigitalOcean. So we thought that in this case, we were not going to change the way we were deploying our sites just because of Volto. We want to have the complete experience for our developers too, and our people who deploy the sites. So we wanted to have everything to do everything in the same way. So, which was our first approach to deploy our Volto site? We wanted to work, as I said before, we wanted to work like we did with build-out. So why not copy the front-end package to the server, run yarn build, and start the server. Okay, that was our first idea, but it didn't work. The yarn build took at least half an hour. We had to double the server, and even after that, the build took about 15 minutes. We had to upgrade twice the capacities of the server to run yarn build. Yeah, it was insane, but that was the case. So we saw that that was not the solution at all. We couldn't work like with build-out, that running build-out or upgrading the package and just restarting the server. So at that time, we were already working in a project at the EEA. We were using their deployment pipelines. Thank you, ODWeb, for all that work. So we thought that that could be a thing that we could replicate or copy to do our deployments. So we went to automate somehow all that project building and publishing. So what we wanted to do was to automate the Volto add-on package creation, the package building, to tag the package and release it or not or whatever. We want to automate the way that the front end was being built. As I said, our build was taking too much time, so yes, our Volto add-ons and front ends were not hosted in GitHub, in public GitHubs. They were client code that was in private GitLab repositories. We are using GitLab to host our client code and configuration and stuff. So we needed a way to publish those private packages in a kind of pipey index, but for NPM, for JavaScript packages. We already have a private Pipey package, Pipey repository. It's just an engines folder with password protection, and it works with build-out quite fine. You just add the repository URL in the find links, and it works. So we thought that could be the way also for NPM. But it looks like this doesn't work like that in NPM wall, in JavaScript wall. We didn't find a way to NPM to work with several different repositories, to use the public one and the private ones. So we started looking for some private repository for NPM packages. We found Verdaccio. Well, I don't know if it's said Verdaccio. Perhaps the Italians will tell me that it's not Verdaccio but Verdaccio or whatever. Sorry. It's a private, as advertised, it's a private NPM repository, and it works like a proxy. So you can configure your NPM and Yarn and all JavaScript tooling to talk to Verdaccio, and it will handle the packages that it hosts, and also will proxy to NPM to download the packages that are outside. So with this, we just have to configure our tooling to get the packages from there, and it will handle everything. We password protected Verdaccio. It's just a Docker image with some YAML-based configuration. So after Googling a bit, we managed to configure everything correctly. And we have published the configuration we used in GitHub, so if anyone wants to use it or deploy it for themselves, it's quite easy to do it. We had to, as I said, we password protected Verdaccio and created the NPM token needed to communicate with that. And then came one of the hardest parts, that was configuring NPM and Yarn to use that repository, because sometimes when you execute Yarn install, it uses some configuration files, and when you do NPM publish, it uses some others. So we had to figure out what to touch in each configuration package, and after that, it was quite easy to publish everything. Like we publish with test releaser in Pipey, just with release it in Verdaccio. We had to change the NPM. We had to create in each of our packages the NPM RC and Yarn-C files, saying that our packages will be hosted there, and then started trying to automate the building of them. How we did this? Okay, we were already using GitLab, so I guess you know that GitLab has the CI/CD options. We already were using CI/CD for running some tests and also for deploying some Django sites. We also do not only Plone, but also Django. So we were already using that to release and publish some Django sites. So we started configuring the Gitlab-CI YAML files to manage all that stuff and let Gitlab-CI do the hard work. We also have some GitLab runners in our premises, so we are not relying on public Gitlab-CI runners, just in case you want to run the code in private things. It's quite easy to spin a new runner, and it does the work. So our process was like the same that we were using already in GitHub and in the EA. So we do our developments in a branch called develop, or in branches taken out from develop. When ready, we open a merge request. In GitHub, they are called pull request. In GitLab, they are called merge request. I don't care. And when ready, we open a merge request to the main branch. And at that point, Gitlab-CI is run, the package is built, and the merge request is approved, or at least in green. When it's in green, the merge request is merged, and at that point, the CI builds the package, publishes it in the private NPM repository, and also, as it takes some time to do that, it sends an email to our developer team so that they can, okay, this package is already built, I can go on and create the front-end package. For the front-end package, the process is quite similar, but it takes more time. So we update the version that we have just released in the previous step in the develop branch. We create a pull request for main. At that step, the yarn build is executed so that we can guarantee that the build is okay. And if the merge request is okay, the build is okay, we merge it, and another pipeline is run to upgrade the version, so on, and copy all the resulting files to the server, to the staging server, or whichever server, STP them, restart the supervisor, and send an email to the developer team. This way, the developers just take care of upgrading the version of the package, issue a pull request, and they don't have to do anything. The drawback of this is that when we were publishing build-outs or Python code, sometimes you can do quick fixes and just push the code to the repository, restart the build-out, and everything was working. Now it takes about 15 minutes to publish a modification of the front-end, but, well, it's something that is a controlled process. It's a complex process, so we think that having it automated lets the developers to do their work and not be looking at the screen and to check if the server is being updated or not. I am going to show now some of the parts of the pipelines that we are using. I have a link with all the pipelines. We have everything published in GitHub, so I will share the link with you afterwards if you want to check it or improve them, or tell us you are doing this wrong or whatever. So this is the part of the pipeline that we are using to release the Volto add-on. It prepares the repository that clones in from GitLab, creates the npm-rc and the yarn files. Here you can see them, and then it just runs release it here to create a new package and publish it wherever it needs. And after the script is run, it just increments the version, pushes back to the develop branch, and sends an email to the development team. The front-end releasing is quite similar. When the merge request event happens in GitLab, it executes yarn install to gather all the packages and build all the dependencies and prepare everything. Then just executes yarn build, and this is what takes a lot of time, because it has to download everything and so on. And when the merge request is accepted, there is another pipeline that just releases it and rsyncs or STPs all the contents to the server. We are using Gitlab-CI has a thing called artifacts and shared. I don't know how is the exact name, but you can pass from one step to another the results of the previous one. So you can do some tricks also to share created files from one pipeline to another. So in the first pipeline where we build the front-end package, in the merge request, we are creating a lot of files. We are creating not only the build files, but also the node modules folder. So we save that, for the next step. Otherwise, we are running yarn build twice, and it was unneeded to do that because it takes about 15 or 20 minutes, depending on the runner capacities of your GitLab configuration. As I said, artifacts can be shared and can be cached. So each time you run it, you can reuse the previous step and previous files. And we are using a ton of variables, so we can parameterize all our builds in using different configuration and different repositories or different server stuff. We are in the beginning of this process. We have 2 Volto sites almost ready to be published. They are waiting for the client latest approval, and we are preparing another 2, sorry. And we are constantly checking these pipelines and these ways of upgrading the site. So we are constantly updating this configuration. These configuration files to have them at least perfect for our needs in such case. So we try to keep all of them updated, and not to start copying and pasting the Gitlab-CI configuration files and some other configuration files for all those projects, because I said they are 4 projects, so we have 8 packages to update each time. We just wrote a Python script that downloads the configuration files from GitHub and updates everything automatically. So if we do some updates in one of our projects, we just run a Python update templates frontend, and everything is downloaded and configured correctly again. You will find all data in this link. You have also the link to this talk if you want to catch it later, and also our Verdaccio configuration, and also the Gitlab-CI and all other packages, all the configuration files there. Everyone is taking a photo. So that's all. This is our team at Code Syntax. They are not all Plone developers, but we do a lot of Python. We do Django and Plone. We also like chess, like as you. Well, okay, I play chess. The other ones say chess is not is anything, is nothing, but okay. And yeah, I'm here if you want to ask anything or whatever. No, we have planned that, but we haven't done that yet. But we want to do that too, yeah. Yeah, we are thinking of doing something like you are already doing in the EA, at the EA, but we haven't reached there yet. Yeah.
Did you have your own package repositories other than the NPM repository, like PyPy repository?
Yes, we have our own PyPy repository, yeah. PyPy, yeah. But it's just an Nginx folder with password. I mean, that works in Python well, yeah. No more questions?
There is someone who sent the speaker. Please repeat the question. We can hear the audience.
Yes, yeah, okay. The first question was if we were updating the version of the add-on that is being created automatically in the front end, automatically also. We are not doing that, but we plan to implement that. And the second one was if we already have a PyPy repository, a private PyPy repository, And yes, we have one, but it's just an Nginx folder. Okay. Okay. So if there is no more questions, thank you very much.